Greetings and welcome to another Lessons with Odin. Today I have a very versatile component for you. Very simple, easy to throw together, great for the gifting season. Now for this you can do a variety of things with. I've shown you this part with a little bail on top so you can easily stick it on a pair of earrings. You can simply put a little claw clasp on top of it to make a little zipper pull or a cell phone charm or something along those lines. You can make a bunch of them and thread them on some chain for a lovely charm bracelet or pendant. You can also omit the spike bead in the center and use it for a bead cap. Probably for a very considerably larger bead, however. This is a 10mm bead. I probably recommend a 14, 12 at least for that, but that would be a very lovely little focal pendant, or again, another pair of earrings, something like that. But yeah, super simple, super quick for all those rush giftings that you may or may not have to do. For this component, for each component, you will need 6 4mm beads, 6 3mm beads, 1 spike bead or some sort of focal bead that's around 6mm. This is an 8x5mm bead, but anything around that range will work. Need 6 Superduo beads. This is also great for those projects where you have very little of your favorite color left and you want to kind of still use them because you want to empty out your storage. That's pretty much what you want to do for that. Size 15 seed beads, and size 11 seed beads. Let's get started. Alright, so what we're going to start off doing is threading on an alternating pattern of 4mm beads and Superduo beads until we have 6 sets. Pull it down and we end up with something like this. Now what we're going to do, this is our working thread side, so what we're going to do is pass through all of our beads once more to form a loop. We're actually going to leave a workable sized tail on our piece so that we can attach the bail if we need one. Now that we have our loop, all we're going to do is tie a square knot with our working thread and our tail. Alright, now what we're going to do is pass through the bottom hole of the next Superduo bead over, like that. Then pass through the top hole of the same Superduo bead. Next, what we're going to do is add on 1 3mm bead, and then pass over to the next top hole of the next Superduo bead. Let everything kind of cinch together. You're going to want to have a heavy tension on this, so be sure to pull tight. You're just going to repeat that all the way around until you put all 6 of your 3mm beads in between 2 Superduos. We end up with something like this. Now what we're going to do is reinforce the round and cinch everything together either once or twice by passing through the Superduos and the 3mm beads once more. Once we have done that, we want to make sure we are through a 3mm bead before making the next row. We're just going to add on 3 size 15 beads and pass to the next 3mm bead on the round, so that we end up with a little bit of a covering on top of the Superduo bead, like that. I'm going to repeat that all the way around until we have 6 sets total, like that. We end up with a little crown thingy going on here. Right now I am through a 3mm bead, and in order to step up I'm going to pass through the center bead of the ring of 3 beads, 315 beads. So I'm going to just pass up the first one and the second one. Then I'm going to add on one size 11 seed bead, and I'm going to pass it through the center of the next set of 3 15 beads. Like that. So that the 11 bead sits nicely in between those two size 15s. Once more, I'm going to pick up one size 11 seed bead and move to the center of the next set of size 3 seed beads. That. Everything cinches together, so repeat that until you have 6 size 11 seed beads all the way around. And we end up with something like that. Reinforce the round by going through each of the size 11 seed beads once more. Okay, now that by itself is a really interesting bead cap that you can play around with. But if you wanted to add a little bit more to the center and plug it up, start by passing your needle through the center hole of the bead, then adding on your one spike bead, then go back up through the hole again. Then kind of work your spike around so that the point sticks up through the hole of the bead cap component. Like that. Pull it up, and then secure it in place by passing through the next size 11 seed bead across the way from where you started. Now to reinforce, you're going to have to go back down through the center hole of the component, go through the hole of the spike, if you can find it. There we go. Go through the hole of the spike, go back up through the center hole, and anchor it to a size 11 seed bead on the round. Do that as many times as you feel comfortable with in order to secure the little spike in place. And then you get to decide what you want to do with your component. So, go ahead and end your working thread if your tail end is long enough to work with. If it isn't, all you have to do is work your thread up back through a Superduo bead. Alright, so now that I am through a Superduo bead one way or another, I'm going to add on a bail by putting on about 4 to 6 seed beads. I'm using size 15s, it really doesn't matter which size you want to use. And then passing it over through the top hole of the Superduo bead, so that it forms a loop. And I of course have the knot here, so it's making things a little difficult. Ouch. Like that. Reinforce it just by passing through each one of the beads again, and then you're free to do what you like with it. If you want to turn this into a ring, all you have to do is from here add on your favorite ring strap that you want to use, and then anchor it to the Superduo bead across the way here. So you kind of just have to look at what is halfway point, which is right here. So you'll have 2 bails, and then you can easily turn that into a ring. Very dainty and cute. Well, I think that'll do it for this edition of Lessons with Odin. I hope you guys enjoyed this component. If you make these, please feel free to share these. Share photos of what you make on Instagram or any other places you'd like. I'd really like to see what your creations are. I love seeing other people's color combinations. And if you enjoyed this tutorial and would like to see more, feel free to subscribe and also share with what other tutorials you would like to see. Thanks so much for joining me, and as always, if there is anything that I need to be trying out right now, feel free to leave me a comment down below, and I will see you next time.